You ready? Now, I remember when you called me, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a long day. We were in the studio, smoked a J. I was headed to we were headed to go get some sushi, and you called me out of nowhere, and it was funny because I really, I was caught off guard and nervous, and you're like,
Oh, come on.
yeah, I was very nervous, and I couldn't really hear you. And after seeing your phone, I realized why I couldn't hear it because you got the 1998 flip phone
Yeah,
still,
it's a flip phone. You know why I
still
like it?
rocking and
I'll
rolling.
tell you what I love about a flip phone.
You got it. Toss it in here. Let's
No, don't toss it.
don't toss it.
Look at this.
That thing's durable.
Here's the
Look at
best
that.
thing about a flip phone. You open it, and it's a phone.
And you close it.
You talk into it, and you hear on that side of it. I don't do anything with it. I can receive a text. I won't send a text.
Yeah, you big lead my text. I sent you a follow up text.
But I was in the store where what's the big store?
A big store like me.
Apple, I guess, where
Okay.
everybody goes to fix their.
Right.
And the manager came over to me and looked at this, and he says, "Where did you get that?" What I love one of those. You get them at the AT&T store,
Mm,
and that the best thing about it is not only that they're unhackable.
yep.
All cell phones are hackable, except
Absolutely.
the cell.
They're hacking these all Apple. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge at this point, but all these products are all these devices are listening. I mean, I'll have a conversation with our guys about a t-shirt I want or something that I saw an ad I saw. Literally 6 hours later on my Instagram, I get served an ad that's pretty much
Yeah,
similar to something I was just discussing.
I'll tell you what's totally impossible is deleting.
Mhm.
Once you've said
It's
it,
all on there.
it's out there.
It's all on
And
there.
that's amazing to me because all technology is amazing to me. You know, I'm 86 years old, so I've lived through it all.
Absolutely. I mean, how old were you when the TV first came?
And TV came in 48. I was 15.
15 years old.
15.
What did you think? Was it just the
It was black and white, of course.
right?
And we used to, this is funny. Television didn't go on till 6 o'clock. And then not after midnight.
Was that a house rule or was it just
No, there's learning more about their trade and shows.
right?
I would sit with friends and we'd watch the picture tube, which is just a picture of a tube, little circle going round and round, and you knew in a minute it'll be 6 o'clock.
Unbelievable.
And Zeke Manners came on. Television is the devil's doing, brought me ruin, grief and woe, woe, woe.
You remember like yesterday?
Then we had It's Howdy Doody Time. It's time for fun and rhyme. Bob Smith and Howdy Do. Say howdy do to you.
There you go.
And then,
Getting
of course,
serenaded by Larry King.
when Milton Berle hit in the late 50s, late 40s into 50, and that show was unbelievable.
Pretty. I'm sure I know the answer to this already, but could you have imagined that thing that was placed in in your living room at the time would transform your life? I mean, it was obviously radio is your first where
Well,
your
radio
first
was a start, and radio is a special medium. It's the theater of the mind. You and I could be sitting on a roof somewhere now, but the audience can imagine anything it wants.
Mhm.
Television takes away that magic. It
Mhm.
has other attributes, of course. But Rod Serling, the great writer, told me that the difference between radio writing and television writing is if I write a show that says there's a dark, foreboding castle at the top of the hill, you can read that on radio, and the audience makes anything they want out of that castle. Windows, not windows. But on television, you do the same thing. They got to print the castle. They got to show you the castle. So I've
Absolutely.
always admired and loved radio for that reason. I'm a product of it. But I was lucky because I got into television real fast. I was doing a radio show for maybe a year and a half when the show was hot. I was a funny disc jockey. And Channel 10 in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
an ABC affiliate, they called, and I went over there, and then I was there for five years, and then Jackie Gleason was a great friend of mine, a pal to me, and he came on the show, and that
Mhm. Took
went through
off.
the roof.
Now, do you remember? Can you draw back to those times where your psyche was? I mean, I know you were somebody who grew up automatically. You were drawn to radio immediately. You knew you wanted to do that.
Right,
Is that
correct. That's
correct?
very lucky. Not that never wanted to do anything else.
And you get there, and I've read things on the beginner's luck where like life kind of gives a beginner's luck to people who are chasing their dream and on the right path. It sounds like you had kind of immediate success,
Yeah,
almost
I'm
immediate
almost immediate in
success.
Miami. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The beginner's luck is, but Branch Rickey, great baseball general manager, said luck is the residue of design. You make your luck,
Mm, I like
and
that.
I have always thought about that because it was lucky that I have this mind. I was lucky that I'm inquisitive. What if I weren't inquisitive?
Absolutely. I talk about that all the time. People talk about in the celebrity space, especially the ego and the ego that fame. It's kind of a man-made structure. Fame. It's not necessarily some the celebrity. Is kind of a man-made ideology,
Sure.
and it's not necessarily something that is natural for humans. So when you get tossed into that and you're constantly being admired and under a microscope by everyone, as much as you're always surrounded and everyone wants you around, you can feel isolated by it. And I
Yeah,
see,
fame is a difficult thing to handle. I learned to handle it because it happened to me young in
this is what I wanted
Miami.
to get
So
into
I
with you.
got
Yeah.
well known and people knew me on the street. Then I was all around town. I would open up new movie theaters. I would MC events.
Mm,
I like talking in front of people.
mhm.
If I didn't do this, I'd have been a stand-up comic. I love comedy. It's what I would have been. So I love being around comics, and I fell into this naturally. It was seamless to me, radio to television. I regarded television as radio with pictures.
Right. You ready?